In this video, I'll discuss the controversy over vaccinations. I'll answer the question, do vaccines cause autism? And I'll discuss the side effects of vaccines. Be sure to watch part 1 of The Truth About Vaccines if you have not done so already. So now I've talked about all of the wonderful aspects of vaccines. They are able to cleverly trick your immune system into building defense without you actually having to get sick. And vaccines are responsible for saving millions upon millions upon millions of lives by preventing and even eradicating some devastating infections. So why is there so much controversy? Well, there are a few things. One major concern, one major question is, do vaccines cause autism? Fortunately, this question has an answer, but let me give you some history. There was a study published by The Lancet back in 1998, and in that study, there were 12 children who had received the MMR, or the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination. The physicians who wrote this paper said that 9 of these children developed autism, and that the parents of 8 of these children believed that the autism was caused by the MMR vaccination. Now, mind you, there were only 12 patients in this paper because you can't even call it a study. Subsequently, there have been multiple studies performed which show no correlation between the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination and autism. And as opposed to these 12 children in this one study, in the subsequent studies, there have been hundreds of thousands of patients, and there has been no correlation. In addition, there were 12 authors to that Lancet study in 1998, which said that MMR caused autism. 10 of the scientists who wrote this paper withdrew their statements. They said that they were mistaken, that the study was flawed, and that the MMR vaccination does not cause autism. One of the 12 scientists was not able to be contacted before the other 10 withdrew. And then there was one physician, one lone physician, who stands by his word and said that MMR caused autism. Well, there was an investigation that found that this one lone scientist, this one physician who stands by his word that the MMR vaccine causes autism, he committed fraud. He actually changed the data. He changed the parents' answers. He even changed information, which makes it questionable if all of these children actually had autism. He completely committed fraud, and the Lancet later declared that the study, this 1998 study, was a fraudulent study. In addition, more studies were done. There have since been over 18 studies in 3 different continents, and all of them reveal that there is no correlation between MMR vaccines and autism. So there is no data to support that vaccines cause autism. That's the data, that's the science. The other controversy surrounding vaccines, side effects. And yes, vaccines can have side effects, as can all medical treatments. So let's talk about that MMR vaccine again, as far as the side effects. Well, 10% of children who get the MMR vaccine will have fever, 5% will have a mild rash, 0.001% will have a serious allergic reaction, 0.0001% of boys will get orchitis, or an inflammation of the testicles. That's scary. But again, it's 0.0001%. And then you have 0.0001% of children who will develop encephalitis. So yes, there are some side effects to vaccines, but in most developed countries and with our modern medicine, by far, the majority of children who receive vaccines will do well. And when you look at those numbers that I just gave you for the potential side effects of MMR, and then you compare it to the fact that prior to the MMR vaccination, 7 to 8 million children were dying every year, you can balance the risk to benefit ratio for yourself. So what's the truth about vaccines? They save lives, they prevent infections, they do not cause autism, they do have some side effects. I told you at the beginning of this video that I would tell you the number one side effect of vaccines. The number one side effects? Vaccines prevent deaths from infectious disease. Please comment below and let me know your feelings or your experiences with vaccines.